So there was a fascinating experiment that was done that shows that you can be stressed and have no conscious awareness of it. I learned this from Joseph Ledoux, who's a neuroscientist who specializes in fear and threat detection. He quotes this study quite a bit. There were people that sat down in a chair and they had screens in front of them. And on the screens, the people conducting the experiment flashed a picture of a snake and a spider, and subliminally, meaning faster than they were consciously aware of. And it's important to note that a snake and a spider are something called an original trigger, meaning this is not a conditioned stimulus. This is not something that had a neutral association, like let's say a cup, and then let's say you had a painful experience or something, somebody poured the water over your head, and your brain created a pairing of threat association. This is something that goes back to our ancient ancestors in the African savannah. I'm quite confident that obviously a snake or a spider got associated with threat, kind of got baked into our survival disposition because so many people were getting killed by snakes or spiders that it just became part of the hardware. But anyway, these people were hooked up to blood pressure monitors, oximeters. There were devices monitoring brain activity, and they were sitting in the chairs. They flashed the snake and the spider to these people, and they asked them, "Did you see anything?" And they said, "No, we didn't see anything." Then the people conducting the experiment said, "Do you feel any different than you did 5 minutes ago?" They said, "No, I don't feel any different." But yet their blood pressure and heart rate had gone up. Their breathing rate was elevated. The amygdala in the brain, which is what alerts the sympathetic nervous system to prepare the body for fight or flight response, was firing. What? That means that they were activated without conscious awareness. And according to Joseph Ledoux, fear is actually not an emotion. Fear is whenever we consciously become aware that our body is in fight or flight response and we have a sense of danger. But you can be stressed out. In fact, you usually are before that stress increases to the point that it intrudes into conscious awareness and fear kicks in. So this is why it's so important to start to feel even subtle levels of tension in your body through something called interoception, the experience of the embodied self. I had to do this to fully get rid of anxiety and also prevent it. And I teach this to my clients all the time, and start to self-regulate and start to relax, not waiting until fear kicks in. Because if you're waiting until fear kicks in, that's a very high level of stress. And yes, you can de-escalate it, but it's like, waiting until your house is super messy to clean it. Why not just clean it up? And then if there's just a little piece of trash or a little piece of clothing, clean it up. That's the power of interoception and preventing fear altogether.